Never stop reading Bible. Have you ever been part of a project that just felt different? You know, one that came from a place of pure inspiration and generosity. Well, today, we're jumping into a story from the book of Exodus that is all about that exact feeling. It's a powerful look at how a broken promise can actually lead to an incredible act of community and creation. It's a huge question, right? Something we all have to face at some point. How do you move forward when trust has been shattered? This ancient story actually gives us this fascinating roadmap for how one community turned a moment of complete failure into a powerful, brand new start. So let's dive into chapter 34. Our story kicks off at a real crisis point. The foundational promise, the agreement between God and the people of Israel has been broken, totally shattered. And because of that, everything they've built their identity on is suddenly at risk. Now, getting back on track wasn't some quick fix. It was a journey. It all started with their leader, Moses, making this desperate plea, which was answered by an incredible act of love and forgiveness. This whole reconciliation was then made real, made tangible, by carving new stone tablets, turning a symbol of their failure into a promise of a second chance. And you have to understand, these new tablets were so much more than just stone. They were the physical sign of a renewed promise, what's called a covenant. This wasn't just some legal contract. It was the very definition of who they were as a people. It shaped their identity, their purpose, and their entire relationship with God. So to make sure the second chance really stuck, some core principles were laid out again. And you can think of these less as a bunch of harsh rules and more like guardrails, you know? They were designed specifically to steer the community away from the very things that caused the break in the first place. Okay, so with the relationship restored, the entire dynamic just shifts. We're into chapter 35 now, and the focus is no longer about fixing the past. It's all about building the future. They're given a new shared mission to construct the tabernacle, which was this beautiful, portable sanctuary that would become the very heart of their community. And what's really fascinating here is the order of things. Before anyone is asked to give a single thing, they're first reminded to rest. This reframes the whole situation. It presents both resting and giving not as obligations, but as acts of devotion, things that flow from a place of trust and gratitude. And the community's response was just electric. Seriously, this wasn't some tax they had to pay or a command they had to follow. It was a spontaneous eruption of generosity. People were genuinely moved, and this shared purpose created this joyful, overwhelming desire to chip in. And just look at the sheer variety of what they gave. People brought everything they had of value. We're talking precious metals, vibrant and expensive fabrics, rare woods, aromatic spices, and gems. Every single contribution, no matter how big or small, became a part of this massive community project. But, you know, raw materials can only get you so far. A project this important demanded extraordinary skill. So two master artisans, Bezalel and Aholiab, were appointed to lead the construction, guiding the community to bring this incredible vision to life with absolute perfection. And now, in chapter 36, we get to see all of that generosity and all of that skill finally put into motion. The materials are gathered, the leaders are in place, and the great work of building the tabernacle finally begins. This, right here, might be the most astonishing part of the whole story. I mean, can you imagine a fundraiser so successful that the organizers have to literally tell people, please stop giving, we have too much? The people's generosity was so overwhelming that they had to be held back just so the actual work could start. The story is also really careful to point out how the artisans followed the instructions to the letter. This shows that it wasn't just about giving materials, it was about a deep shared commitment to getting the vision exactly right, with focus and with faithfulness. So what does this whole journey from a broken promise all the way to this incredible act of creation really teach us? Well, it leaves us with a pretty powerful question to think about. It shows us the extraordinary potential that gets unlocked when a community unites around a shared purpose, fueled by nothing more than joyful, wholehearted participation. This explainer was based on source material provided by the Center Studio. Thanks so much for exploring the story with us.